You ever feel like you're just trapped inside your own head? Well, today we're diving into a book that basically argues that's the whole point. We're talking about Dostoevsky's Notes from Underground, a wild, surprisingly modern story from way back in the 19th century that's going to flip everything you thought you knew about reason, free will, and what it means to be happy right on its head. I mean, talk about an opening line. Right from the jump, our narrator just grabs you. This is not your typical hero. Not by a long shot. This is a raw, messy, and frankly, a pretty unsettling confession. It perfectly sets the stage for the journey we're about to take into some of the darkest corners of the human psyche. So who is this guy who's leading us through all this? Well, he's known simply as the Underground Man. And let's be clear, he's not someone you root for. He's a total mess of contradictions, pettiness, and pain. But in creating him, Dostoevsky pretty much invented the modern literary antihero. He tells us he's a retired civil servant, about 40 years old, and get this, he used to be rude to people who needed his help, just for the fun of it. He goes on about this 18-month feud he had with a soldier, all because of the way the guy's sword clanked. He is just swimming in his own malice. Okay, but just when you think you've got him pinned down, he pulls the rug right out from under you. He admits he was lying, just for the sake of being spiteful. And that tells you everything you need to know. His loyalty isn't to the truth, it's not even to being consistent, it's to his own chaotic, unpredictable free will.
And this is his real torture. He can't seem to become anything at all. He says he has too many opposite elements just swarming inside of him. So he's paralyzed. He can't commit to a single identity. And so he just retreats to his corner, his underground, and does absolutely nothing.
So this total paralysis, it builds into his main philosophy. He keeps asking himself, why can't I just do something? And he thinks he has the answer. It's a pretty terrifying diagnosis for the modern mind, especially for anyone who's ever felt stuck overthinking things. For the Underground Man, the problem is literally his own brain. He argues that, yeah, the ordinary amount of consciousness you need to get through the day is fine. But that super sharp, self-aware, analytical consciousness of an educated person, he says that's not a gift, it's a disease, it's a curse. So he basically splits the world into two kinds of people. First, you've got the man of action. He sees this guy as simple, direct, maybe even a little stupid. But hey, he gets things done. He just charges ahead like a bull. And then, you've got the man of consciousness. That's him. He overthinks everything, sees every possible angle, and ends up feeling as small and powerless as a mouse, only able to hide away in his little hole. And this right here, this is the absolute heart of his paralysis. Because he thinks so much, he can never find what he calls a primary cause to justify doing anything. You know? Every reason has another reason behind it, and another, and it just goes on forever. So what's the result? He can't do anything. He just sits there, completely aware of how stuck he is. But this complete paralysis doesn't lead to some quiet, peaceful acceptance. Oh no. Instead, it sparks a full-blown rebellion. A rebellion against the basic laws of reality itself. He uses this incredible metaphor for reality, the stone wall. So what is it? It's everything we're told we just have to accept. The laws of science, logic, and especially that cold, hard certainty of math, which he boils down to 2 + 2 = 4. This is his cry of defiance. Look, he knows he can't actually break the wall by banging his head against it. He gets that 2 + 2 = 4. But he refuses to be reconciled to it. He refuses to let his spirit be crushed by the cold, rational facts of the universe. Okay, so if he rejects reason, logic, and even what's good for him, what in the world does he think is the most important thing for human beings? He poses this incredible question. And really think about it. What could possibly be more valuable than all of those things we spend our whole lives chasing? His answer is one of the most radical ideas in all of philosophy. And there it is, the most advantageous advantage. What is it? It's the absolute freedom to choose, even if your choice is completely irrational or counterproductive or even self-destructive. It's the right to want something totally stupid just to prove that you can. And this leads him to another shocking idea. He says that man will never give up on suffering, on chaos, on destruction. And why? Because suffering, he argues, is the sole origin of consciousness. It's in those moments of pain and saying no that we feel most intensely alive, most aware that we are individuals.
All of this leads to his ultimate fear, the creation of a perfect, totally rational world, a utopia.
He uses this metaphor of the palace of crystal. Just imagine a society built entirely on science and logic, where every need is met, every action is predictable, and every outcome is guaranteed to be for the best. What would a human being do in a paradise like that?
He'd smash it to pieces. The underground man is absolutely convinced that, out of sheer ingratitude, a person would deliberately want the most fatal rubbish, just to inject his own fatal, fantastic element into all that perfect common sense.
And here's why. It's to prove that we aren't just piano keys being played by the laws of nature. It's a terrifyingly relevant idea today, in an age of algorithms, right? He's arguing we have to prove that we have free will, that we're individuals, and that we can't just be calculated and put into a spreadsheet. And this is the explosive climax of his entire argument. To prove he is not a machine, to assert his freedom against the tyranny of twice two makes four, man would embrace chaos, destruction, and even go insane, just to make his point. Which leaves us with a really terrifying question to chew on. Is our irrationality, our ability to be spiteful and to suffer, our fatal fantastic element, is that the very thing that makes us human? And if it is that humanity worth saving, even if it means giving up on the dream of a perfect world?